Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa podcast ni.
All right, welcome to the Life Podcast. This is your host, CJ Alton. I'm back at it again. We got a new series coming through this year, 2025. This series we're going to be calling Astrology Series. I got two great, phenomenal people with me. I have Black Unicorn and I have Wisdom Juice with me. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to let you know more about them, what they do professionally, how they can help you, and what services they provide. And they're just going to let you know a little bit about themselves. So I'm going to introduce first Black Unicorn. How you doing today?
Hello, how you doing? Um, my name is Stanisha York, aka Black Unicorn, and I actually have a couple of things going on right now. This is all in honor of the Black community. All right, I have a mentorship program for Black girls, up to the from 7 to 18 years old, and this mentorship is a little bit different because it actually involves the mental health aspect, which I think is key to helping our girls thrive. I am actually a licensed clinician, and I also have a private practice where I do therapy sessions for Black women and Black girls. So that is at the pride of my heart. I want to restore our communities and get everybody healthy and bring them back to life.
Wonderful, wonderful. So glad to see you here, Black Unicorn. And then on the flip side, we got a longtime friend of mine, intelligent human being. We got Wisdom Juice. Wisdom, what's happening?
Yo, what's good? So I'm an artist, I'm a poet, producer, and I'm an astrologer. Yeah, I got a Patreon. It's on Patreon/Wisdom Juice.
So I forgot to mention, right? This episode is specifically going to be about the sign Aquarius, right? Which are the greatest people on the planet. I'm a little biased. My birthday, February 12th. So I represent Aquarius very hard. So I'm glad this is the first episode. We get to talk about this. We have two people that are, experienced in this field. Wisdom Juice. He's put me on game about astrology and different zodiac signs for maybe like 10 years ago. So back then I was like hearing him out. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I promise you, man, the information that he's been able to give me has just been like phenomenal. It's been able to help me, with careers, been able to help me with women. It's been helping me, navigate throughout just life in general. So trust me, we got some great information for you. I hope you subscribe, stick around to hear the whole series. We're going to be doing all the signs. So we're going to be putting out episodes during that month. So just stay tuned. If you're a Taurus, you're a Gemini, you're a Cancer, stay tuned. But today,
Don't forget the Pisces.
oh hey, can't forget the Pisces, right? That's gonna be the next episode. We gonna go, you know what I'm saying? We gonna go on the road. So that'll be the second episode for sure. But stick around, subscribe, and we gonna get this started, man. So let me just go ahead and break it off and obviously talk about Aquarius, right? So that's obviously the time dates of the birthdays of January 20th and February 18th. So if you were born in between that time of January 20th and February 18th, you are considered an Aquarius according to astrology. Um, and then I'm gonna just leave it out to Wisdom Juice to really talk about, what kind of sign is it? Like different signs in terms of, right? You have earth, you have air, you have fire, you have water. So there's four types. And so with the Aquarius, Wisdom, I'm gonna let you take it away. What kind of sign is Aquarius?
So an Aquarius is the air sign, it's the water barrier. You may see it as it pouring water, but it's not the water sign. It's actually an air sign. And the birthday, we said the birthday, right? And then so what sign does it represent? The personality. So it's a fixed sign. So it's kind of like Leo. So it's very fixed in a way, but it has like this, I wouldn't say God complex, but it's very intelligent, and it thinks of the collective.
Okay. Yeah, because I get confused with that. Sometimes I think the Aquarius is a water sign. It's comfortable with water, or it's like
It's the water barrier, so that's what that is.
water
Like you
bear.
see
What does that
pouring,
mean?
that's why you see a man pouring water, so it's the water barrier.
Oh, I see. Okay, but it's still an air sign.
Yeah, it's still an air sign.
So in terms of like the personality, right? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but just a general standpoint of like what the Aquarius represents and, you know, what is the personality of most Aquarius?
So the personality of most Aquarius, they're more like they're a people person, but they're more like to be by themselves. It's not like they don't like people, but it's more of like they do things better by themselves, but they care about the collective. And Aquarius are very like quirky. They're very innovative. They they're very good with technology. As right now we're doing this right now. Um, yeah, like I said, they kind of have like this God complex. They're very intelligent. They think of the all, and people say they're cold, but they're not cold. It's just that they intellectualize their emotions. So it's like they think about their emotions instead of feeling it more. So yeah, they're not cold though, but
Nah, I could definitely agree to that. Just being Aquarius myself, it's like with my emotions. Sometimes I be like, damn, sometimes I feel cold, but it's just more so like I'm really rational with my emotions. So I try not to get too deep into them. But then again, a lot of people might argue, like, okay, well, you're a man as well, so maybe you're not tapped into emotions as well. Is that the same for Aquarius women, or is it different?
it's the same, but I guess for men, it's like you could say we're more was more colder, but women they still have it. They're still seeming as cold too, because like Megan Thee Stallion, she's an Aquarius, and you see her being like herself and not caring what nobody says.
Mm.
So they still have that complex of like I can be cold and I don't care. I'm the boss. I can do what I want, but they're not cold. They just more intellectualize their feelings.
I also think it depends on if they're high vibrational or low vibrational. We didn't bring that part into it
Mm.
because that definitely does make a difference.
Yeah, that's very true. There's some low vibrational Aquarius and there's some high vibrational Aquarius. It just really depends on your personality and your aura.
So, I mean, we're talking about vibration now, just really quick. Like, what is the definition of someone that is a high vibrational then? Like, what does that mean?
So a high vibrational Aquarius is for the collective, is for the people, and very they have a lot of friends and they help people out. And Aquarius, they they're always looked at as somebody to get help from. So that's a high more vibrational. A lower vibrational is somebody who's cold, who doesn't care about the collective, is very like way that's kind of like going against the grain on purpose to be like,
Toxic, very toxic.
Yeah.
yeah,
So when you
be
talk
real.
about high vibrational, that means that they've evolved, right? They've done some of the inner work, they've done some healing, they've evolved, right? And then you have those that don't do it for whatever reason. It could be because they don't know how to, or because they just don't want to.
Yeah, yeah, simply don't want to. Like as simple as that. With astrology, right? It's almost like um astronomy in a sense of it talks about the universe and space, right? It talks about things outside of Earth. So, each sign has ruling planets. And so, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and let wisdom just go deep into what is even ruling planets and then talk about what are Aquarius's ruling planets and what that means.
And astronomy is based off what planet. So only two signs have their own planets, which are really not planets, which is Leo and Cancer. Ruling planet is like the dominating energy that it brings to it. So each planet has different ones. We have Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, yeah, Mars. So, but Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so it has to do with structure, it has to do with authority, has to do with knowing like that's what the God complex is, like knowing the all and looking at collectively and being mature.
Yeah. Now I feel that I think those are a lot of qualities, right? That I possess. Um, is being structured. I usually like things to be as structured as possible. I'm not one to be very spontaneous. You know what I mean? So, I'm not willing
Yeah,
to
Aquarius
just
are not spontaneous. It has to be like they have to know what's going on before they deal with it.
I
exactly
don't
just
know about that because remember, they have different planetary alignments. So it depends on what's that combination looking like. What does that birth chart look like?
Yeah, it would have to
Because I
depend
do
on
know
what
some
their
Aquariuses
moon
that
and
are very
Mars.
spontaneous.
mm,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
dig it. I mean, and that's the whole deeper thing, right? Is the birth chart. And
Right.
just a side note, that's something that, wisdom goes deep into with
Hmm.
his expertise. and what he offers. So, if you're watching this right now, you really want to start getting into what your birth chart looks like. That's something wisdom has been able to help me with. And I feel like I know myself now better than ever. So that's just a quick side note. If you're really interested in knowing more about yourself and the different qualities that you possess, even your weaknesses, that's where you go to Wisdom's channel. But we'll mention more of that at the end as well. All right, so you said the ruling planets were Saturn and
Saturn, the ruling planet is Saturn, authority, the father figure.
okay. Okay, so it has one ruling planet.
Right now, if you're saying, like we're saying like tropical, you would say it's Saturn. But if you want to be like in general, it'd be Uranus too. So it's either we would say Saturn right now, but and overall it can either be Saturn or Uranus, because Uranus is kind of like innovative and like does what it wants to, kind of like Saturn, but Saturn's more kind of more sturdy than Uranus.
All right, so this is the fun part now where, you know, some of the beginners that get into astrology, right? They look up their signs and they start to look at their qualities and their traits, and they're like, "Yeah, I am that way. I am that way. I am that way." And before we get into the Aquarius traits, again with the birth chart, as Black Unicorn was saying, you know, there's a lot of different elements and components to your qualities and traits. It's not just straightforward. It's not just, oh, let me look up the characteristics of an Aquarius and then that's what I am, right? Just going to the general qualities and traits, like what they possess, their characteristics. Like what is an Aquarius? How are they? How do they possess themselves? Like what are they about?
So they're unique, they're innovative, very intelligent, very tech wise. Just a sign. This is not just sun sign. Just
Mhm.
they're very tech worthy, um, intelligent. They have a God, like they care about they're humanitarians at nature. You know what I'm saying?
Why do they call them weird?
Mm.
They call them weirdos because they're like so Aquarius are like aliens, so they don't think like the collective does. They kind of like they're like aliens because like it's like more like because like Saturn, right? Saturn is more of the outer planet, and so it's oversees it, so it kind of sees things before other people do, and then they realize like, oh wait, you were right, and it's like yeah, because you got to have far out thoughts to be able to have new ideas if you innovated, and some people don't want to be innovative, so they're like, oh, you're weird, but then they realize they were right the whole time.
Right. Because I feel like they can be considered the life of the party, right? But not everybody can understand the personality of an Aquarius. That's somebody you have to get to know,
Mm.
right? They can be very sarcastic and say, and the sense of humor can be very dark and
Yeah,
cryptic, right?
it's crazy. I feel like y'all just spilling out all my secrets.
not,
Man.
not everybody's going to get that, right? But
Yeah.
if you take your time and you get to know an Aquarius for who they actually really are, you grow to love them because they are some of the most unique people in the world.
I mean, that's some of the positive stuff, right? And so, where there's positive, you got negatives. So, wisdom when it comes to the weaknesses of an Aquarius, just generally talking, like, what are the weaknesses? What are some aspects of Aquarius where, you know, um, we can improve upon?
Weakness is they can be cold, very cold, and they'll ghost you if you piss off an Aquarius, and they'll ghost you for no reason. You figure out like what happened. They're to a point where they want to be different, and they'll oppose everybody's opinions on purpose. They'll realize like, okay, you think like that, I think like this, and I'm not gonna change it. I want to be different on purpose instead of collectively saying, hey, okay, I get what you're saying. We have different thoughts. Okay, how can we come to this? But when it's on a negative side, that it's like, nah, it's like World War I. It's like I don't care what you say. What I say is more important than what you say.
And they can be considered the know-it-alls.
Mm,
And that can get them in trouble too,
yeah.
because people will avoid an Aquarius who thinks they know it all and that they're the smartest person in the room, right?
Yeah, very true.
Wisdom, what are like the biggest strengths of an Aquarius?
I feel like the biggest strength of Aquarius is being a humanitarian. I feel like that's like a humanitarian and being innovative. That's like one of the biggest things.
And then the innovative factor, I think definitely, we are some innovative people. I definitely consider myself creative. So, um, now that's cool. But now we get into the whole compatibility, aspect of this. And what's so funny is, you might see like on a dating show, or you might even talk to somebody and they be like, okay, I'm an Aquarius, so I don't like X, Y, and Z, right? I don't like, these people. I'm not compatible with them. Um, and it runs deep because now it gets into the birth chart again. But just really quickly, wisdom, like explain what compatibility means in the realm of astrology, just in general.
So compatibility is like, so there's a thing called trine. So it's kind of like when two signs connect very well. Like the best signs that Aquarius connect with, well, like air signs, or like of course they get along with them. Um, but compatibility between them, it's just more of the connection and the vibe and energy, because Aquarius is very hard to understand. So if you can be compatible with Aquarius, you can be compatible with Pisces too. So
Yeah.
Pisces are very, but yeah, but they're compatible with air signs. I would say like the best are air signs.
Mm, okay. So in regards to that, now we're talking about the Aquarius. What does that look like in terms of compatibility? Who are they most compatible with generally?
They're like Geminis, Libras, like I said, Geminis, Libras, um, Sagittarius, because Sagittarius they're kind of like the same, because Sagittarius is more like free spirit, independent thinking, and just likes to go with a third. Who else? I would say those are some. What do you think, Black Unicorn?
I do think that they are compatible with they could be compatible with the air signs, but also they can be toxic too, you
What you
know.
mean toxic? Like who is toxic? Like what you mean?
Gemini and Aquarius.
Why you say that though?
Well,
Because
I just
Aquarius are very detached, and so they're like, it's kind of like, if I'm in like say I'm in a relationship and I'm an Aquarius, it's more of like how my energy is, like I'm more detached. So she may feel like, well, why you feel like this? You're like, well, it's not a big deal to me. And so it's kind of like you're more cold-hearted and you're seen as toxic, because you can just be like, just you can just like just leave and up and leave. And
Mm,
most people are just like, they have to take some time. And for Aquarius, it's more like they're super detached and so in the air, and you're fixated and you're like stubborn. So it's more of like, I don't care, I'm just leaving. And so that scene is kind of toxic.
yeah,
yes.
and that can bring out the twins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. No, it's true. I definitely that's one of my it's one of my biggest flaws personally. Is being detached. I think a lot of
Right.
people would tell you like I'm a very detached person, and that might have something to do with my focus and my drive. Personally, that's where it comes from. Others might be different, but for me, I just feel like I'm so focused on something.
I was gonna say the detached part of it though, to me, can be a gift and a curse because it is good to be able to detach, right? But then what happens when you start dating or getting married and you have a family and you detach and you focus clearly on work, work, work? Because we know that Aquarius is like they like to get that money. They
Yeah,
like to get the bag, right?
mm,
So when you start doing that, then you risk losing like your family and things like that. So it's all about balance, right?
yeah, nah,
Yeah, and I feel like it takes like a special person to catch the eye of not to catch the eye of Aquarius, but for an Aquarius to settle down with them because they really don't like everybody.
yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, yeah, very
It's
true.
true. It's true. It's what it's crazy. I was talking to Wisdom. We had a conversation not too long ago, and I was telling him like I don't mingle with everybody, and so but people get offended off of that, not really knowing why. So
Right. Right.
you know,
Because you guys are looked at as very can be very arrogant.
exactly.
But that's on the surface. That's why I said you if you take the time to get to know an Aquarius, you'll see that there's much deeper going on there, and
Exactly.
that they're really some cool people.
Exactly. And I think you bring upon the aspect of, again, the astrology and the birth chart, right? There's
Mhm.
things hidden within that personality
Absolutely.
why they are the way they are. So no, that's a great point. But now that we're in this realm, let me stay in this realm and start talking about, you know, the ops of an Aquarius, people that maybe they don't get along with, just generally speaking, right? Because again, it gets deeper. But just on the surface, um, wisdom, who are some people that the Aquarius might just rub the wrong way, or vice versa? Who do they just not get along with generally?
Um, well, the biggest op is Leo, just the opposite sign, because every sign has an opposite sign. That's their biggest ops. Everybody else is not that bad, but it's the total opposite. Because Leo is like is the sun, and so they want to shine and be on stage. And Aquarius is more like I play the background, and I don't care about really being seen. But like how Black Unicorn said, it's more about the chart. But just as a sign in general, Aquarius is more I'm for the people. I'm gonna march with you guys. Leo's like, I'm gonna be front stage. And so like, yeah, look at me. You know what I'm saying? And Aquarius is like, nah, I don't I'm trying to do my own thing. And so Aquarius and Leos can like bump heads for that reason.
But that's crazy you say that because you're a Leo, right?
Yeah, I'm a Leo, yeah.
Well, we get
But I'm
along just
but
great.
I'm a Leo and I got a moon Aquarius, so you know what I'm saying?
Uh, okay,
So
so
I
that kind of,
understand it.
yeah. Oh, I got you. I got you. So you're able to really understand why Aquarius is the way you are because you have that
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
chart. Okay, so that's pretty much it then. Like the Leo is pretty much the main.
Yeah, that's their biggest ops. Everybody else they can get along pretty much well.
Okay. Do other signs have more than one usually? Like in terms of,
No, every sign has an opposite sign. It's not like Aquarius has multiple. It's just more of
okay.
just every sign has an opposite sign.
And then, man, as we conclude this, I think that was a lot of information that was shared. Just from a general standpoint, what is the purpose of an Aquarius on this planet? Like, what should they seek out to do? What should they look into? What is the purpose of an Aquarius?
To be weird, to be unique, to be innovative, to be a humanitarian, and just be themselves.
Mm,
That's what I think it is. Be yourselves. If
okay.
they can embrace who they are and don't go with the crowd and don't waver away from who their true authentic self is, that's it.
I dig it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
All right, then. Well, with this segment, that concludes this episode of the Aquarius. But before we get out of here, I want to let the people know where they can find y'all, whatever social media handles y'all have. This is the time to share it. Y'all have services that you can provide to the community. Definitely let them know some services and where they can find you. Black Unicorn, where can the people find you if they want to, tap into, getting a black therapist and just a therapist overall and they need help? How can they catch you?
If you're looking for a mentorship for your Black daughter or any Black girls, you can find me on IG at Black Unicorn Mentorship. And if you're looking for a Black therapist, you can also find me on Black Unicorn WS on Instagram.
All right, cool. And in wisdom, where can we find you at?
Um, you can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, all streaming platforms. You can find me, but I'm gonna be on Red Note or Little Red Book. I'm gonna be on there, and yeah, and YouTube.
All right, well, that concludes this episode. Remember to go ahead and subscribe. If you're a Pisces, you want to look out for that next episode. Go ahead and catch us next month, and you'll see our episode. So, peace to you, and thanks everyone for joining and watching.